Okay, I think we can start with the introduction. So everyone will join during my slides, but no, get back please to the previous one because so hi everyone. One more time, my name is Nastasia and I'm happy to welcome you on our joint webinar with Meta. And today we'll be talking about Meta ads for e-commerce, about new features and proper data tracking to boost your ROAS. And now, please, next slide. In just a few minutes, I'll hand it over to our amazing speakers, Rohit from Meta and then from Stape. And the next slide, we've also just super smooth. Just 1 minute for introduction. We also invited, as usual, our data tracking experts from Stape, Alex and Vlad. So feel free to drop any comments and questions in the Q&A box. They will support you. And now let me give you a quick intro. Please, next slide, almost the last. What topics we will cover today. So first one is what's new in Meta Ads for e-commerce, including all the latest solutions. Then we will talk about why server-side tracking is more important than ever and how Stape makes it easy to set up. And we'll also have, as usual, a live demo. Today, we'll show you step-by-step setup of server-side tracking for your online store. And of course, we'll wrap up with a Q&A session. And this webinar, I have the last but not the least slide. This webinar will be recorded, and in a few days, you'll receive the link to the recording and all the written guides, everything that we will mention today, everything that will help you to do the setup by your own. And now, yes, Rohit, the scene is yours. Please enjoy. Thank you all for your attention.
All right. Thank you, Stape, for having me today. So my name is Rohit. I'm on Meta's global partnerships team and based in New York City. And I've been at the company for 6.5 years and working very closely with Stape over the past couple years as well. So we're actually going to just dive right into what's the latest and greatest from Meta on e-commerce. All right, so as we continue to invest in the future of e-commerce to meet the needs of the market, we're focused really on three key areas that will drive growth and innovation for all advertisers. So first, we're committed to helping advertisers build more efficient campaigns to streamline end-to-end management. This means making it easier for our AI-enabled automation tools to help advertisers build more performant campaigns with less time and effort. Second, we're enhancing our e-commerce solutions that help increase customer growth with personalization. As we know, engaging and diversified creative is the new strategy, is the new targeting strategy. So we're building tools and features to help advertisers better enable AI to deliver the right message to the right audience at the right time. And finally, we're helping advertisers lean into profitability and guide optimizations through improved measurement capabilities. Our investments in value alignment is helping advertisers leverage AI to deliver results customized to each business and the performance that aligns to their bottom line. So these are the three topics that we're going to cover in the following slides, and let's go. So let's talk about building more efficient campaigns. That is tools to enable advertisers to build more performant campaigns with less time and effort. To start, let's look at how we are prioritizing helping advertisers more easily add or sync their products to a catalog. And a high quality catalog is essential for delivering personalized shopping experiences, driving campaign efficiency, and ultimately maximizing return on ad spend. So now we're making it easier than ever to create a catalog by using product information already available from your business website. This new feature pulls in your product data from your website to generate new catalogs and enhance existing catalogs by appending additional selections and content to help improve ad performance. Once created, businesses can use the catalog to unlock new ad opportunities, such as Advantage Plus catalog ads. This functionality will run on the back end without advertisers needing to do anything, meaning that Meta will create the catalog for you. You'll see this experience as an opt-in within Ads Manager, or you can go to Commerce Manager to activate it from there. All right, let's dive into 6 key strategies to help you make the most of your products in your catalog. First, use one catalog. Having multiple catalogs can lead to inefficiencies in ads performance. By consolidating your products into a single catalog, you can ensure consistency and accuracy across all your ads. Second, you can unlock more product-enabled ads. This this more The more robust your catalog setup is, the more product-enabled ad formats you'll actually have access to integrate into your marketing strategies. Third, maintain a high match rate. A high match rate means that your catalog is accurately reflecting the products on your website. This is critical for effective retargeting and ensuring that customers see relevant products in your ads. Fourth, ensure website consistency. Your catalog should mirror your website in terms of your product information, pricing, and availability. Inconsistencies can lead to a poor customer experience and negatively impact ad performance. Fifth, provide rich product data. Rich product data includes detailed descriptions, high-quality images, and accurate specifications. This helps customers make more informed purchasing decisions and increases the likelihood of conversion. Lastly, include other products when promoting a set. When promoting a product set, include complementary or related products to increase average order value and enhance the overall shopping experiences. By implementing these best practices, you can maintain a high quality catalog that drives better ad performances and ultimately more sales. Remember, a well-structured catalog is the foundation of effective advertising. So let's take a look at a case study. So Bowden is a UK apparel brand, and they significantly lowered their campaign costs by including more products in their Advantage Plus catalog ads. They saw a 24% lower cost per purchase and a 23% increase on return on ad spend. This strategy allowed them to reach and engage with more potential new customers efficiently, leading to record new customer volumes in the US. This underscores the importance and value of following the 6 catalog best practices that we just talked through. We're also making it easier to improve your Advantage Plus catalog ads or Shops ads by promoting other relevant products from your catalog with just one click. By doing this, e-commerce businesses saw on average 14% higher return on ad spend and 11% reduction in cost per purchase when promoting a product set along with other products in their catalog compared to only promoting the products present in a set. So these are huge efficiencies that can be immediately unlocked. Now, to help more businesses benefit from our most advanced AI-enabled optimizations, we're testing a new ads creation experience where sales and app promotion campaigns start fully enabled with these optimizations when eligible. And this is all while maintaining the controls that advertisers have today in Ads Manager. In this new setup, all sales, app, and lead campaigns can benefit from the AI optimizations that drive performance for Advantage Plus shopping and app campaigns today. We're also adding an Advantage Plus on label to show advertisers when our most advanced AI optimizations are applied for the best performance. These optimizations will be turned on when businesses use the Advantage Plus audience, placement, and campaign budget. Advantage Plus shopping campaigns are also going to be renamed to Advantage Plus sales campaigns. All right, let's move on to the second topic. So we've created a bundle of tools designed to create personalized experiences for audiences, enabling e-commerce advertisers to acquire more customers and increase purchases through enhancements that, one, leverage engaging formats to help diversify creative. Two, drive engaging experiences for customers through curated product recommendations. And three, build purchase urgency. Now you can activate your ideal audience with more relevant and engaging experiences to drive higher purchase value for your business. Let's take a closer look. First, our investments in expanding into more engaging formats allow advertisers to add variety to your ad creative to elevate visual storytelling. Leveraging diverse formats helps engage audiences and convey key brand messages and offerings in new and also compelling ways. To optimize the creative across placements, we're rolling out a new 4:5 aspect ratio display via Advantage Plus carousel ads. We're also adding 9:16 aspect ratio on stories. Ensure the adapt to placements is enabled to automatically crop images for different surfaces and screen sizes. This reduces the need to create multiple versions and simplifies the ad creation process. We're also improving ad experiences by offering two new ways to showcase your products and landing pages. The feature Add Catalog Items allows you to easily display multiple shoppable products within a single ad, and this makes discovery much simpler for customers. Additionally, the new feature Site Links enables you to add multiple landing page destinations to one ad, driving customers directly to what they're looking for with a single click. We're introducing features to drive purchase urgency and inspire shopper action. You can now highlight details about events to create urgency around upcoming sales or product releases. Additionally, highlight your promotions makes it easier for people to find and apply active promo codes, which are automatically applied when they visit your website within the in-app browser. All right, so now let's turn to our solutions that are designed to drive profitability and enable better measurement. So we've added additional capabilities to value optimization, now supporting new attribution settings, conversion locations, value types, and conversion events. First, value optimization now supports view-through conversions, which helps you reach people who may be interested in your product, even if they don't click on your ad. This is useful for businesses who have an understanding of the value of view-based conversions for their business. Second, we are supporting more conversion locations with the destinations your business values, including website and app and website and shop. The latter is useful for advertisers who have a shop with checkout on Facebook and Instagram. Third, advertisers can optimize for the value that's most important for them, like profit margin or lifetime value. Finally, value optimization is now available for standard events beyond purchase. So now we'll touch on incremental attribution, which allows businesses to automatically optimize for and report on incremental conversions. Incremental attribution focuses on conversions that are directly caused by an ad, unlike correlational attribution, which credits purchases even if they would have happened naturally. So, for example, John saw an ad and then decided to make a purchase. This is an incremental conversion. Contrast that with how Pedro saw the ad and purchased, but he would have bought the item anyway, meaning that this conversion would be credited in a standard attribution, but is not incremental. Incremental attribution is designed to be simple to use, allowing you to toggle it on and immediately see results without waiting for experimental insights. It eliminates the need for separate experimentation and provides real-time incremental results directly within your campaigns. This feature is currently available for campaigns with sales, engagement, or lead objectives, and web and shops conversion locations with web and app expected very soon. So when campaigns optimized for incremental conversions, advertisers saw an average of 46% lift in performance. That's absolutely amazing. And this demonstrates the proven effectiveness of incremental attribution in driving better campaign outcomes. So let's take a look at a case study. Boots is a leading pharmacy chain, and they actually improved efficiency by focusing on incremental sales. They achieved a 15x increase in incremental sales lift and a 21% increase in incremental ROAS compared to business as usual. Amazing results. This was accomplished by using incremental attribution paired with Advantage Plus sales campaigns to guide their ad system and marketing strategy. So we've covered four key ways to win with e-commerce solutions, from enabling campaign automation to driving customized results. By focusing on foundational elements, leveraging diverse formats for personalization, and optimizing for value, businesses can achieve greater success. These strategies, combined with quality catalog inputs and advanced campaign features, are essential for maximizing your e-commerce performance. If you have any questions, please let us know in the chat. And now I will turn it over to the Stape team.
All
We're going to
right.
do a quick.
Thanks, Rohit.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Since I'm famous for these, can we please do a sound check? Can you guys hear me okay? If it's too silent or anything, please drop a line in the Q&A. All right, there was an emoji. Okay, that's cool. I'll think we're good there. Okay, let me just share my screen and we'll dive into some practical exercises around all of this. Okay, but first I gotta go through all those slides. So how server-side tracking with Stape can boost your results. The idea is we're going to discuss a little bit that everything that Rohit just presented to you can only properly work if you have a, well, at least half decent tracking implementation and you are delivering proper signal to your pixel, or rather your meta data set. So obviously your meta ads rely on data to optimize optimize your targeting, improve conversion rates, reduce costs, and overall do the machine learning and everything to bring you the best possible results in your advertising campaigns. So it is important, of course, like I already said, to make sure that we feed the data set the most proper and complete data as we can, giving all the possible limitations out there. So right now, in front of you are very common reasons on why the data that ultimately is funneled into your metadata set is not complete. The biggest problem usually is ad blockers and privacy restrictions. Well, privacy restrictions are not something we can overcome, nor we should. So that's not going to be a focus. However, ad blockers are responsible for up to 37% of traffic loss globally, right, on average. And just to expand on that idea a little bit, our view is that ad blockers are there to make sure no ads are displayed, but they are not designed in the first place to be blocking your tracking attempts. So I'm thinking most of the ad blocker users out there, they use them not to see banners, but not to block your meta reporting or Google Analytics reporting or anything like that. Obviously, iOS privacy updates have a hand in all of this. There's browser tracking prevention, such as intelligent tracking prevention, enhanced tracking prevention, and such, which pretty much reduce the cookie lifetime in your browsers in a default situations, which is something that server-side is, well, essentially originally built to kind of overcome. So we'll be looking into that a little bit as well. The solution, as you all know it, Meta Conversions API. In principle, we have some good numbers of its performance. So you can see 30% cost per result improvement for an average user of Conversion API. And it says global large advertisers, but I can think you can scale it to everyone who set up Conversion API. I've seen an average of 19% additional attributed purchase events. This has to do with those cookies specifically because in a Conversion API environments, normally, if you've done everything right, you would have an extended cookie lifetime, which will allow you to attribute purchases where they wouldn't otherwise be. So right now, a short slide of what Conversion API is in principle. A lot of you may know this. Essentially, this is a sort of a gateway endpoint, if you will, to for Meta to receive your conversion data, not exclusively from your browser, such as you can be used to, but also in parallel through your server, so through Conversion API, which also, as a sort of a side effect, allows you to push other sources of data. So not only browser interactions, but because this can be a server-to-server connection, you can hook up, for example, your CRMs or some sort of data lakes or any internal systems you have, so long as they can send HTTP requests, you can be reporting directly to Meta off of those. And that's one of the benefits of the conversion API in principle, because you couldn't previously do that with a Meta pixel. Now, all in all, this means more reliable data. So this diagram pretty much shows you normal and recommended implementation of your meta tracking, of your conversion tracking, where you want to have a client-side pixel, even though it has issues with cookies and such, but still, it's you want to have it in your stack. In parallel, you want to add the server events via the virtue of conversion API, which is something that we're actually going to do today together with you. So how do we make the difference? On top of just utilizing conversion API, we have a bunch of tools developed and mostly plugged in already into the products that we offer that will essentially help you shield your tracking scripts from ad blockers. So we're going to be bypassing those limitations, extend cookie lifetime, which is a promise of server-side tracking in principle. And we're also going to discuss a few tools such as our built-in analytics and some debugging and monitoring situations that we have going to further make your life easier when dealing with a conversion tracking setup, be it a new one or maybe you're enhancing the existing one. So here's the general blueprint that we're going to follow, and it applies regardless of which sort of solution we're going to use. So in principle, we always need a source of data, which will be the data layer in our case. We need to implement that pixel client side and make sure that we populate it with proper data. And then, of course, the conversion API to the, as a last piece of the puzzle. And then you're all done, happy, and cheerful.
Dan, sorry,
So
1 second. To the audience, like my Zoom quit by accident. I don't know why. I was in the process of answering some of the e-commerce questions. So if you have any questions about the e-commerce stuff, just please send them again. I was writing them up. So sorry, it was like a Zoom technical thing. So happy to answer those questions. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries, Rohit. Yeah, guys, feel free to use that Q&A. If you repeat the question 1 or 2 times, that's not a big deal. We'll figure it out. So yeah, to switch to what I was saying. So we have this blueprint in front of us, and now we pretty much have to find solutions for 1, 2, and 3, right? And hopefully make your life easier every step of the way. So for data layer, Stape has a bunch of applications, plugins, modules. The name depends on the platform in question. Here are 6 presented right now. There's a couple more coming to be released shortly. These applications are designed for popular e-commerce platforms. So you can see there's Shopify, WordPress, meaning WooCommerce. There's Magento 2, BigCommerce, Wix, and PrestaShop. If we have anyone from Middle East, there's a Sala application as well. And we're going to have Shopware, I think, in a couple of months. So these cover the data layer part. You install them on your store and you will have a source of proper e-commerce information, your normal events such as view items, add to carts, checkouts, purchases, all with proper product data, user data if available, and such. So we can tick that checkbox, and the first item on our blueprint is taken care of by Stape. Then we need to implement our pixel, which we'll talk about. There's not much scenarios there. We will use GTM, but you can, of course, implement it directly into code if you have the know-how, or maybe use some sort of a plugin if you trust that enough. The conversion API, though, has a couple of routes. We have the conversion API gateway, which is a very, very easy tool. And if we assume that you have pixel implementation, so client-side implementation ready, then you can hook this up within just a couple of clicks in the interface and have your server side going. If you are more in a techie sort of side of things and you want to go deeper into all of this, you can utilize the server Google Tag Manager, which again might require some know-how and it will be a little bit more cumbersome, but ultimately will provide you with sort of a Lego kind of situation where you can customize it and build whatever logic, whatever filtering your tracking needs may ask for. So this would be the sort of a summary here, right? So we take care of the data layer with our Stape application. We're going to take care of the pixel implementation with a pre-built template for GTM. I'm going to show you that. And the conversion API implementation, again, for SGTM will be taken care of by the pre-built template that we distribute, or just by virtue of you connecting the gateway. So pick and choose. On top of it, a few words about Stape. So we have this Stape store, which is a persistent NoSQL database targeted at more advanced cases, but think of it as a database that is hooked up to your server container without any additional settings or anything like that. And you can use it as a persistent storage. On the screenshot, I have an example of margin being stored for different products so that you can report profit on ad spend rather than revenue. You can also utilize the system for pretty much any data needs. You can re-enrich the returning customers. You can store some important identifiers such as cookies and such, and you can use it as a kind of a reference for deduplication and such other scenarios. And to conclude, there's also the Stape analytics. So if you are using server-side GTM, we will have a very handy dashboard which will show to you and hopefully your stakeholders the impact that server-side tracking has on your tracking. So you will see the uplift of how many requests were handled in an ITP environment, in a tracking prevention environment, how many requests bypassed ad blockers. So it's a very good and sort of a empiric way to show the benefits of doing all this. And well, to conclude this part of the story, we are, of course, certified to everything that you can imagine. There's the SOC 2, ISO, HIPAA compliance, GDPR compliance. There's more certificates available, but I don't want to bore you with those. We always have a freemium plan available, so you can start with us without any commitments. You don't even need a credit card for that. 24/7 support will handle your questions should you have any regarding the infrastructure, servers, account, billing, or anything. And of course, every user on Stape gets access to our free academy, which is a full-fledged course on server-side tracking and how you would approach meta and other stuff, when doing an implementation. So check that out. And yeah, of course, there's a community. So if you have some specific cases, maybe something complicated, or some case you want to share with the crowd, please do. We encourage you to. We read that every day. So you can see some of the faces from this webinar in the responses as well. That being said, I'm going to switch to live demo, which is the part I'm better at than talking through the slides. So let's just do that. I'm going to keep on sharing my screen. And so here's a brief introduction. Our weapons of choice today, I have a dummy store on WooCommerce, WordPress. There's some plans being sold here. I have my Google Tag Manager containers, which I'll talk about mostly. I have my Stape account with a container set up, which again we'll briefly go through, but this is the least effort heavy part. You can do this without me. And of course, there will be my metadata set and this handy page, which everyone is going to get a link to, which has dedicated guides on specifically those e-commerce platforms. So I urge everybody to check this out. It's Stape.io, Meta KPI, Server GTM. Anyway, the URL will be shared. And we're just going to follow pretty much that guide. And we're going to use the template that the guide suggests for us to use in our WooCommerce environment. So remember, going back to the slides, we are going to do just that. We're going to introduce a data layer on our web store. We're going to implement a pixel from scratch, and we're going to implement conversion API from scratch. And I will do it in the next 20 minutes, hopefully highlighting to you guys how easy it is and how much tools we have provided for you to be able to pull it off, for yourself or at scale for your customers. Doesn't matter. So let's start, I guess. I will go to my admin on WordPress. Again, this is a dummy store, so I'm not sharing anything sensitive with you guys. And I would start by adding a plugin. So I will go to plugins and hit this button here. In here, let's search for Stape. And here we are, bright and orange. So I'm going to hit install now. This is installed, so we can click activate, which will throw us to the plugins section where we can go into settings and configure things. I already have some stuff saved here, but let's sort of remove this just to show you the entire way. So the application, and this is not exclusive to WordPress, any of the apps that we distribute for e-commerce platforms will have general free tabs. General, data layer, and webhooks. General would be responsible for embedding your GTM container on site just with a couple of inputs. Data layer is something that will add an e-commerce data layer events to our store. The second checkbox says add user data to those as well. I'm going to see that. The last one is enabled by default. It adds a Stape suffix to event names. We're going to talk through it when we debug things, but you will see that it makes some sense. So let me save these changes. And let's make sure I embed the correct container. So in here, we want a web GTM ID, right? Not your server. I have this fresh new one. So I'm going to copy the GTM ID from here and let's plug it into our plugin like that. If I have, like, I could probably delete all this and just be done, and it will already embed a GTM container on my site. However, we are using what's called custom loader on Stape, which is a power-up that essentially allows you to bypass all of those ad blockers, which we talked about today. So let's use that. There's a GTM ID, there's a platform. In my case, this is WordPress. And since I already have a custom subdomain here, you can see cornucopia, Stape events. It gives me some suggestions. So these are the three things that I need to put in the boxes in my plugin. So we've already put the GTM ID, I believe, right? So let's do server container URL. This will make sure that we download the container from our own subdomain, making it less susceptible to blockage and such, and making sure that this is downloaded in a first-party context, because my store is Stape events and my subdomain is a subdomain of that. Stape container identifier is just our internal ID, which again will further protect and obfuscate the things in your loader to make sure that it's not recognizable by ad blockers, not subject to being blocked and to you losing your tracking ultimately. So let's save that, and then let's just refresh here and just double check that we have our container loading. Let's do it the good old school way and just launch preview on our store. So I'm going to go, yes, woo, Stape events. And we have a connection. Beautiful. This is a home page, so there's no events firing. But if we were to go to a product page, for instance, so aluminum plant at 45 PLN. I am in Warsaw, so this is a local currency. And you can see in our data layer, we have a view item Stape push, which has all of the commerce information. It has the currency, the value, the product information, so name. Brent is empty. This is a dummy store, but there's an ID. There would be an SKU if I populated one in my admin, price, item category, and all of my user data because I'm logged in, right? Because I'm an admin here. So you can expect these kinds of events for all of your funnel. You do an add to cart, you go to your cart to get view cart event, you go to checkout to get your checkout event. So pretty much by installing the application, we have taken care of all of those events and you now have them reliably in your data layer, moreover with the user data. So again, to reference this, the data layer part is done. We're good. Now, we want to implement our pixel. So we want to take care of the client-side container, which in my case is empty, but you guys might be, might have something going on there. That's all right. That's not going to interfere with things. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to this magical page that I already shared, and I'm going to say, download the template because, well, I know what to do. But again, I encourage everybody to go through the guide and read it. So if I click download the template, I'm taken to our GitHub, Stape's GitHub. And in here, you can see the repository is called WooCommerce GTM container templates. So these are pre-made container templates that you can utilize to, implement tracking based on these data layers that our applications create. So let's just go ahead and do it. I'm going to download it as zip. In the background, you're not probably seeing this, but I'm going to just like unzip it. And we are interested today in Facebook web and Facebook server because the subject of the webinar is Meta. So we're only going to be doing Meta. If you want Google Analytics, Google Ads, you can refer to these templates. The principle would be the same. So I've downloaded them. I've unarchived the zip file. I will go in my client-side container to admin and hit import container. I'm going to choose a file, which will be my Facebook web. We're going to choose a default workspace. I don't care. I have an empty container, and I can also go for overwrite because, again, I have an empty container. In a production situation, you want to go for merge, most likely, and keep the probably say rename conflicting tags. I don't imagine anyone of you using our pattern like this, so the names should not be, conflicting, but just in case, to be safe, you can do this. Again, I can do this as well because this is a empty new GTM, so I'm not risking anything. And voila, we have imported a bunch of tags, Facebook tags specifically, that are already pre-configured to those events that the data layer is adding. So if we look, let's say, at a purchase, you will see that it's fully populated with the user data, with product information, so content IDs, contents, value currency, your order ID, and such. It has a proper trigger. It has everything set up. The only thing we need to do is point it to a correct pixel. So I will open folders. You can see everything is structured here. We're going to open the settings folder where we have the meta pixel ID constant, which has a mock dummy, whatever value, which we're going to replace with a pixel ID. So I have this WooCom demo in front of me. You can see this is, again, an empty pixel, empty data set, I should say. So let's copy this number. Just click here and put it into our constant and hit save. You can see that this variable is referenced in 6 tags, the Facebook tags. So this pixel ID is now automatically plugged into all of those. So if I were to, let's close this up. If I were to relaunch the preview, we can just quickly validate that pixel events are in fact firing. So let's go here. And let's go to a product page again. We'll do the aluminum plant, whatever. So I imagine most of you have this extension, the Pixel Helper. That's one way to do it. We'll discuss a few other ways. But already we can see that a page view event has fired towards my pixel that ends in 7500, which is exactly what I got here. Then on a product page, we also have the view content event. And that view content event was sent with the product info. That's my ID, 86. Quantity 1 with the price of 45. And the currency is PLN. There's some hashed user data being sent as well. There's email, first name, and last name, which is what you normally expect from a logged in customer on a view item sort of stage of your funnel. These are hashes, so everything is secure as intended. Although in our data layer, we actually have that data explicit. So that is also to show you that, the tags take care of the hashing. You don't need to explicitly hash anything. You can dump the data explicitly as it is in plain, and then the tag will hash it for you. Obviously, this works further down the funnel. Let's go to something interesting like checkout. Let's give it a second. So we go here and start our checkout. We will have a begin checkout event with all of my cart here. Again, I have my user data, right? And if we look at the helper, which is here, we would have fired an initiate checkout event, which is beautiful. And again, it has all the product data. It has 2 products now. It has my user data hashed. So again, Coming here, the pixel implementation is done. You already got it going. All we need to do is publish this container, and we are live on WooCommerce with our pixel reporting to our meta dataset. Right. So as we discussed, your next point is conversion API implementation, and you have two routes there. You also have the gateway. So in order to do the gateway, I'm not going to stop on this today. We're going to reference a few manuals. It literally takes you like 2 to 3 minutes from here, because you publish this, you publish your web implementation, and then you go to an interface right here. You say, choose a partner. You go for the gateway, back here, host with a partner, you choose Stape, get started, and you just go through this flow. And by the end of this, you will get an email, which if you go through the link the email suggests and click a few more buttons, your conversion API gateway will be fully up and running, connected and everything. And it will send the same events that your current pixel is sending. And we've already verified that those are pretty good and reliable. So that's the gateway. Again, not going to stop on this too much because that is a fully self-service situation you guys can do without us. If you have any questions on that, please reach out to our support. Again, it's very, very simple, so I don't expect you having any issues in that department. Now, to complete the demo here, let's do conversion API via server-side GTM, right? The complicated route, so-called. So with our web container in place, let's close the preview. We don't need it for now. Let's deal with the server one, right? So as I've mentioned, I already got a server container on Stape here ready and with my custom subdomain. Again, this is something that I don't want to go through today. We have a bunch of webinars before where we showed this. So you can hit our YouTube, hit our documentation, ask a question. Very, very easy to do, nothing specific here. I have just created an instance on Stape. I have given it a container configuration string, which is something that you grab from your server container right here in the container settings. You see, this is the string. This is what connects Stape to your actual Google Tag Manager, so we know which container to fire when handling your requests. And I have pointed a custom subdomain, which I created in my DNS manager. In my case, this is Cloudflare. For you guys, this can be anything. This can be GoDaddy or any other like registrar you're using, any DNS manager you're using. The point is we want a first-party subdomain. We want a subdomain of your top-level domain, and we want it pointed to Stape so that we can use it in our tracking endeavors. Right. Next up, the server container. Although I have some stuff here, this is a dummy container that I do my tests on. We're going to override all that with our template. Remember here, we also had the Facebook server JSON, which is a template for server-side GTM. So we're going to do the same exercise. We're going to hit import container. I'm going to find a proper file, which will be FB server. I'm going to say existing workspace because I don't care. Again, I am just going to override it for the cleanness sake. But you guys feel, you want to go for merge like we discussed. So let's give it a sec, load, override, and add to workspace. Boom. Now we have here in our server container the 6 events we discussed for Facebook Conversion API. Again, everything is set up, everything is mapped, all of the data is already plugged in. You have your triggers, you have your user data, you have your product data mapped. Look at the purchase, the additional will be the order ID as well. So all of that we got going. So what we have to do is, again, go to the settings folder and populate a few things. First and foremost, we want the same metapixel ID. We're just going to put it here. Hit save. Second is meta conversion API token, which is a thing that we can grab from our interface. So if you go to settings in your data set and scroll all the way down to set up direct integration and hit this button. This is new, interesting. Yeah, generate access token. All right. Okay, let's try it again. Something was supposed to go wrong on a demo. This is quite normal. I think this is gods of fate. So let's try again. Select data set. No, I don't want 32 options selected. I just, oh my God. Okay, this is new. Wow. Let's remove all of that, I guess, and just try to get one from us for our current pixel. Our current pixel was WooCommerce demo, right? Let's find it. The option to opt out will not be available. Okay, guys, sorry for this hurdle here. Just give me a second to click through all of this. All right, consent. Okay. All right. WooCom demo. I want this one. These guys are already selected. All right. Can we generate a token? Yay. Here's our token. So you just copy this. Again, hopefully you don't have 50 test pixels with half-baked connections. So maybe this is not gonna, not gonna prompt for you guys. So click on it, copy this, and go to our variable, which is Meta API token, pre-made for you. Again, we replace the value with an actual token, hit save. Now, the only thing we have left to do is go back to our web container for a second, go to the settings folder, and plug in our tracking URL, which would be this, the DNS record you have created previously, so my subdomain. This essentially will tell my web container, specifically my data tags here, to send information to this subdomain behind which we have our server container running. So I'm gonna hit save. And now we can do the full demo. So I will go ahead, launch the preview on the server container. You can see it launches on that subdomain we've plugged into it. For those unaware, that setting is right here in the admin and container settings. Here's the preview URL. We can add a couple. We only have one, so that's what we're doing. So, okay, this haven't loaded. It did now. Beautiful. So we are now listening on our server for events that will be sent to that subdomain. So let's go ahead and in parallel launch the web preview and go to our store. Things have connected. We have sent the page view here as expected. Let's look at the server. Our server has also received a page view event, which triggered Facebook Conversion API tag to fire and to send the page view event as well. If you're techy enough, you can look into this. That's the outgoing request from the server, the full stuff that you're sending with the payload as is. You can see there's again, my email, my first name, external ID, sent in a hashed format, because again, tags do it for you. All of the available data was already mapped in the tag itself. And the important thing to probably mention is that what the templates already handle for you also is deduplication. So since we are running a parallel setup, since we are sending the client side and the server side events in parallel, we want to make sure that upon receiving those, Meta knows that it's not, two separate event occurrences. This is rather a single occurrence only sent via two different technical channels so that it can be deduplicated. And we do that by virtue of supplying a unique event ID. So if we look at the pixel hit that we did, it has an event ID. There's a bunch of numbers with the underscore in the middle. And it ends in 1864. You can also look at our tag firing right here. And we can see that we've plugged into it 1864. Then on the server, when our page view event has fired, the event ID we've sent again ends in 1864, which, like I said, will make it so that your dataset understands this is a single event occurrence in principle that was just reported via two different channels, and then it can deduplicate it and only account it once when attributing your conversion. And you do not, like I said, you do not need to explicitly handle it, because if you're using this pre-baked template, Then the event IDs are also already plugged in into each tag, both on the server and on the web. So let's look here real quick. It's right here, unique event ID. And I don't know if there's any questions on that, but truly is unique. So unique event ID is generated each time you fire an event. It is tied to these data layer events here. So you can expect every single event to have its own ID. For instance, if we were to go to that product page and look at what's happening with view item, and right here, you will see that it has its own event ID right here. So it's a new one. So it's not like we're giving you a static constant number. It's always dynamic, but it is all set up in a way that it will always match on the web and on the server. Here's our view item firing from the server. We can see that the event ID 6804 at the end, which is pretty much what we got going on the web container. So with this, what remains to be done is, I assume you would close your previews. Obviously, we can go through the entire funnel. You want to just double check that all events are firing. You want to reach the test purchase, make that, because I imagine this is e-commerce, so this will be your most important conversion. But in principle, once you've checked it all, you close those previews, you publish your containers, give it a jesty name, and from there on, you are live and your website, your e-commerce store is reporting both via the pixel, the web pixel and conversion API. In parallel, those events are deduplicated and your campaigns ultimately, upon getting enough data, will perform much, much better. And before we switch to live Q&A, which I'm happy to answer a few questions, just wanted to stress out that we showed you an example on WooCommerce. The flow doesn't really change for any of these guides for any of these platforms. Shopware is coming soon. We discussed that. In principle, you would have some sort of a plugin, might have a bit of a different look and feel, but you will have same inputs. You will provide the GTM ID, your custom subdomain, a Stape container ID. You will tick the checkboxes to add your data layer events. You will then throw together the templates to your containers, such as we discussed. And that enables you in roughly 23 minutes that I've spent here with you to pretty much set up your container to be, your containers rather, to be live and report to your metadata set. So with that, I think I'm done. And let's see what you guys got going there in the chat. Sec. All right. Chat. And there's the QA. No open questions, everything answered. All right, well, that's lovely. Guys, we have like 6 more minutes or so. If anybody wants me to maybe show a small thing, maybe answer something, feel free, dump another one into Q&A. If not, I'll stop sharing and I'll say farewell to everyone. Emma, will we have access to the presentation? Oh, this one, sure. This will be distributed along with the materials and everything. So you're gonna have that plus the recording itself, which is also going to be on YouTube. The templates, like I said, are available here. You're gonna get that URL in the follow-up. So just give us a couple of days and yeah, you'll get all of it. Answered live. Anyone else? It's like last chance. If we encounter any issues while setup, how can we resolve it? Well, it depends a little bit on your issues. You can check the guide and it will also, among other things, tell you how to debug more or less what's going on. But hey, if you hit a full wall and you don't know what to do, try our community, try our support. Depending on what sort of issue you're facing, we will definitely help you out. So yeah. I missed the beginning of the presentation, but what plugin do you use to implement data layers? Oh, it's a Stape plugin. It's all Stape, always Stape, nothing else, right? So you go to plugins and this is called GTM server-side, but if you look at it, this is by Stape. So again, all of those plugins will be in these guides. For instance, if we look at the WordPress, let's find the proper item here. Right, configure GTM server-side plugin for WordPress, right? And you have a dedicated link on how you do it, and there's the links to the plugin. Yes, all of it is available online, so this page, again, you're gonna get in a follow-up, but let me actually send it to you so you feel secure like that. There you go. What do you mean Africa is not included? I mean, if we don't have an African zone for our servers, don't get discouraged. Host yourself in Middle East. That will still work. At some point, if we have enough traction, we will definitely add African, servers as well. But you are not limited from doing it. Like I said, you don't have to host in necessarily in Africa. All right, answer these. Do you recommend using transformation to insert, restore data from the Stape store or insert individual Stape store variables? I recommend using transformation. Moreover, I recommend using this tag, which is called events enricher, I believe. Maybe event enricher. I don't know, it's not working on me. But yes, definitely do transformation. The reason you want to do that is because it will save you on some requests. This is not loading for me, but hey, I'll make sure you get that link as well. Will we have the questions and answers from the webinar chart? Yes, sir, you're gonna have it all. Facebook for WooCommerce is sending extra events on top of the duplication. How do we stop it while you Stape plugin? I use Facebook for WooCommerce just for the catalog. Well, if that plugin doesn't let you disable reporting itself, so it only works as a together catalog and reporting, you probably want to use a different plugin for the catalog sync then. Again, the idea is you don't want the over reporting, so that's a very proper question. You want to remove the source, the redundant source, whichever one that might be. All right, answered those. Okay, guys, I think that's it. We can wrap up. I want to thank everybody for the attention and for keeping on coming to these. We have our website on React Astro. How will the setup work if there is no template? Oh, that's a good question. I love it. So in here, we have a guide for what's called a custom site. And it says not using any CMS. We also have a step-by-step guide for you to follow. There will be a template for the custom website, assuming you implement the data layer in the format that one of the items here suggests. So within this guide, there's a link for documentation on how you want to organize your data layer, what sort of schema to use, what sort of structure. And then if you do that, on our GitHub, you will find a template that you can then apply the same way we applied it for the plugins, right? Unfortunately, we can't cover all the custom cases. So we've given you like a recipe right here, step 3, create a data layer. There's a simple document which describes which sort of events you want to implement, how they should look with examples. Given your devs implement that, you throw on top the template the same way we did it today, and you're covered. Is the custom parameter variables in the server side you're sending content IDs as an array or in a string? Content IDs is an array of strings. That's how it's supposed to be, right? It can be an array with a single item ID. It can be an array with a multiple item IDs, but that's an array in principle. All right, 1 minute left, guys. We really got to wrap up. It's fun answering your questions, but I can't do it forever. So stay tuned. We're going to have more webinars on different subjects. You're going to get the follow-up with the recording, with the templates and everything. All of this is online. If you fail to find anything, please reach out to our support. But before you do, wait a few days because you're going to get a big email with all that information. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.